back with Cover to Cover. Nice to see you all. It's a Thursday. We are going to have some fun on this one. We had a crazy, hope you all had a good Easter Sunday. I hope, I thank you to the Boston people who came out to Laugh Boston this weekend. I had a great time. I love Boston, and it was always fun. And meeting some nice people there. Some Alex fans. I met some Alex fans in Boston. Yeah, a couple who came up to me and actually mentioned how much they love Alex. So, for those of you who don't, there's a few people in Boston who do.
There are three whole people in Boston.
There is. There's a couple of nice people in Boston who are real fans of yours, Alex. So you got that going for you. Maybe take that van to Boston.
Full of dummies to Boston. Yes,
drive that over to Boston. You got some fans over there.
I'll go on my own. I don't want to bring the dummies.
Don't even bring them. Yeah, exactly. Start breaking loose. Anyway, so that was a good time. Thank you for that. Like I said, Easter. And then we had a big, huge bombing in Sri Lanka, which was terrible. But these are the things we have to cover if we're going to do what we say we're going to do on this show, cover to cover. So that was bad. 300 people dead. More religious stuff, I guess. I don't know if it's Muslims bombing Christians, but there really is no Christians in Sri Lanka. It seems to be that's not their religion. I don't know. It's a bad situation. Whatever happens, it's terrorism, and these people put on backpacks and walk into churches and hotels and the one guy I read this morning that the one guy actually they have video of him standing in he went to the hotel buffet before he did it. He had the big backpack on. He's in the line at the hotel buffet. Like I said on the past podcast, those buffets are delicious. So not even a suicide bomber has to go to the pancake machine. So this guy, went in the line.
Get a tri-tip before
stayed with all the people. He's in the line with all the people. And then he just goes and blows everyone up. I mean, it's just whatever. This is a world. This is why we, just listen to cover, have a good time, some laughs, because it is a shitty, shitty world out there that these people can't go to a church on a Sunday on Easter in Sri Lanka without getting blown up. Whatever. You just got to hope you're not in one of these places when it happens, man. Because now I was at a coffee shop in my neighborhood yesterday, and they have a big sign. Police have put up a sign in the coffee shop saying, we're going to have a thing next week. Come on down to the police station here in the Valley to learn about how to survive a mass shooting. And then they go on to list all the, how prevalent it's become in this country, more so than anything else you prepare for. We prepare for earthquakes, we prepare for fires, but the chance of those, killing us are even less than a mass shooting. So come on down and learn how to survive a mass shooting.
Are they doing those drills for the way we used to do fire drills in school? Are they doing that?
I think they are. I think they do it in schools as well, but this is for everybody. If you're in a post office or wherever this shit goes
they
down.
train you how to hide in a government building. If you're in a DMV,
I guess.
If you're in a park,
just who knows what, I mean, it's crazy. But so that's the world we live in. Everyone's shooting everybody, and but here we are. Listen to cover, have some fun. And I know yesterday on my Instagram I was watching the Today Show, and they were back from their Easter break, and the Today Show's got it rough. I don't envy them because they have to cover everything like we try to do on this show, but then they have to segue because it is a happy, fun show. We want to have a good time when we watch the Today Show. But when you have a giant thing like the Sri Lanka bombing, you have to find a way to pivot from talking about the Sri Lanka bombing to talking about, hey, look how cute Jenna Bush Hager's little daughter is on her Easter egg hunt. And the one girl just not good at it. I forget her name. The black girl. She's very nice, good reporter, good morning type personality. But she
terrible bedside manner.
But she goes, and the Sri Lanka bombing was terrible. She goes, but anyway, who had a great Easter? And then she shows a picture of her and her kids at an Easter egg hunt or something. So it's tough to do. I'm trying to do it right now as I'm trying to segue from all these people getting killed. I read one story about one of the richest men in the world. I think he's Dutch. And he lost 3. He has 4 kids. He lost 3 of them in the bombing. I mean, it's just brutal. Anyway, enough about that. Now I sound like the Today Show lady. So who had a great Easter?
Anyway, I put beans in a casserole for Easter, and
so that's what they do on the Today Show over there. And and the other thing is I've noticed a lot of people, because we're doing some news segments up front here on the Cover to Cover podcast, and I noticed that a lot of these news guys, I watch CNN CNN and, I watch MSNBC. I even watch some Fox News from time to time. And I see they all have like a handle or something they say either on the way out or on the way in. Like Chris Cuomo has, let's get at it. Or, he says, blah, 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 and let's get at it. And then, of course, there was famous ones like Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather all had, so that, and that's the news and that's the way it was or something like that. So now I want to come up with one of my own, I want to come up with something to lead into this news segment. And I'm racking my brain thinking of clever things. And I'm going to launch my first one. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's not. But here goes. This is the way we're going to start from now on. Are you ready? Hey, everyone. It's Chris Franjola from Cover to Cover. We couldn't afford Huey Lewis, so here's just the news. It's pretty good. Come on, people. I thought of that in a hotel room in Boston, and I was real proud of myself. Now that I said it out loud, I don't know if I'm proud as I should be. But
is Huey Lewis still around?
Yes, he's still around.
Oh, he's coming on. He's going to...
Oh, wouldn't that be amazing?
He should start a podcast called Huey Lewis and the News.
You just killed our podcast.
No,
we just made the top 50 on iTunes, and he suggests someone else do a podcast very similar.
No, you're much funnier though. Your content is way better. Huey Lewis, what's he done lately?
Well, the reason why Huey Lewis is not. I'm glad you brought that up, Alex. The reason why he hasn't done much lately is because he suffers from a really bad case of hearing loss, and he had to cancel his last tour. And he says he can no longer perform live because his hearing is so bad from over the years of rocking and over the years of getting his ears getting pounded night after night by a want a new drug. I mean, honestly, Huey Lewis had some great songs. I love Huey Lewis, but so now he can no longer perform.
He's got the old Star is Born problem.
We're losing a lot of our older, people now. So we're gonna have to, go to Coachella and see Ariana Grande. Someone threw a lemon at her at Coachella this weekend. I saw that. I watched a little of the Coachella wrap up this weekend. It's the second weekend, and it seemed to be they did a little something different this year. I normally remember in the past they had two different, completely different, sets of acts during second week. But it looked like they did the same acts.
Same acts.
So it was Ariana Grande headlining again, and someone threw a lemon at her, and you could see a little short video online. She's doing one of her dance moves, and then somebody throws a lemon and it hits her in the chest. It bounces right off. It's not a big deal, but it became a huge thing all over the internet. Like, who hit Ariana Grande with a lemon? What son of a bitch comes to Coachella, first of all, with a lemon? What is this child suffering from scurvy and needs a lemon in his bag at Coachella? So scurvy, by the way, everyone, was a thing that the pirates used to get, I believe, on ships, and they would have to eat fruit. So one thing I learned,
vitamin deficiency.
Yeah, it's a vitamin. Thank you, Alex. And honestly, I don't retain a lot from school, from my elementary school days, but I never forgot scurvy. I never forgot them talking about the people on the Mayflower, Christopher Columbus's boat. Or no, that's Pilgrim. Sorry, Columbus was the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. But any of those boats, people got on and they suffered from scurvy, and then they would bring and the thing that apparently fights scurvy is citrus, lemons and oranges. So somebody threw a lemon at Ariana Grande. Now the controversy being some people believe that it might have been a Beyonce sympathizer who threw the lemon. No, this is the controversy on the internet. They're saying that because last week it came out that Ariana Grande made quite a bit more money for her headlining set at Coachella than Beyonce. I guess Ariana Grande got like 8.5 million and Beyonce last year only got like 6, something like that. So some people are thinking that this person, because Beyonce has a song called Lemonade, or a video, whatever that was, Lemonade. Someone decided, hey, I'm going to take a lemon and throw it at Ariana Grande because Beyonce made more money. I mean, less money than Ariana Grande, and I'm going to throw a lemon at her for that.
It's fine detective work.
It is fine detective. Well, whoever came up with that conspiracy theory is amazing. But I read about it this morning, and it's just fans are crazy. like, I didn't even know about this whole Britney Spears thing that I saw that went down this weekend as well, because Britney Spears made her first public appearance in quite some time. She went out for like a Easter brunch or something with one of her, these new. The thing with Britney Spears has now around her is like she has these shady, boyfriends. I guess they consider them boyfriends, and they're like shady Persian guys or whatever they are. But obviously, at this point, if you're fucking Britney Spears, something's wrong. You're looking to somehow use her for something. I hate to say that, but that seems to be the way it is, because this girl is not right in the head. I didn't realize that she had been in some sort of mental facility since January.
Oh,
I guess.
wow!
Yeah,
now currently,
yeah. So what had happened? I guess so. I missed this whole story. I don't know how this whole story got, because I like to keep,
she's got to fix her, man.
I got to keep abreast of these things. So apparently, I guess her father had gotten sick, and she said, I'm going to cancel the tour. She was going to go on a tour. She does the Vegas thing, but then she was going to go on an actual tour. And she said, I can't go on this tour because my father is sick. And then they put her in, they put her into a one of these facilities here, I think it's in Los Angeles. And she's now in a crazy facility. And she came out for brunch on Sunday, for Easter brunch, because no matter how crazy you are, everyone loves brunch. So, and they had the boyfriend bringing her out of the place or a hotel or whatever this place that she is in. And she looks like, it's like a completely insane person. And she looks like Britney Spears, who's just completely insane. And Britney Spears has been through it over the years, whether it's been, her shaving her head that time with the umbrella on the window and all of it. And, man, and then now all these people are saying that she's being held against her will. She's fine. She's being held against her will. But what do these people do? You're fucking fans.
She's fine?
Yeah, like, obviously Britney Spears is not fine in the head.
Text her, and she was like, all good.
I know, like, these are just fans. Like, people are just crazy, man. Like,
those pictures, man, they've got her wazzed out on
right?
a lot of
and her
drugs,
hair's
man.
all fucked up. Yeah, anyway, so that's the Britney Spears thing. I feel bad for Britney Spears. She's had one of those lives where and it probably wasn't normal to begin with. And then when you're just a kid who's like, your whole life being famous, it can't be easy. And, honestly, I'll tell you a story about Britney Spears. I met her many years ago, several times. And I'll tell you my story. It's interesting. And it shows you how crazy she is. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. She's just not right in the head. So...
And I wouldn't be either if I had her life. Like,
but some people have. You can't say that. I know. I hear what you're saying.
I'm just disclaimer. Like, we're not calling her crazy. I'm just saying.
But everybody has. Like, there's a lot of people who've been famous since they were children who are doing fine. Like Bieber, he seems fine. I mean,
he had a couple rough years, though. He had to unplug.
But not to the point that he's been like mental institute. Like Britney Spears has like mental.
No,
problems.
He's at that church though. That is a mental.
Well, we're gonna get to that in a second. There's more about these churches coming up. Hang tight, everyone.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we don't have Huey Lewis, but we have more news. Anyway, so Britney Spears, a couple of years ago, many years ago, it's got to be 15, maybe more years ago now, I was bartending and waiting tables at a place called Mirabelle Restaurant on 8768 Sunset Boulevard here in Hollywood, California, basically West Hollywood, California. And I've talked about this place many times on the show because, honestly, it was a big part of my life. I worked there for about 12 years on and off,
Whoa.
Yeah. When times were lean, that's what I did. And I made money there. So it was great to go back to this is when people used to go out and bars would be like 8 people deep on a Friday night. And you could make, $700 on a Saturday and a Friday night. So that's big money. So anyway, I worked there for a long time on and off, and I've mentioned that I've worked with Meghan Markle, worked there, and Jamie Alexander from that NBC show. A lot of people came out of that place, weirdly enough. Anyway, so one day we had a very handsome waiter who worked there. His name was Mike Marchand. I probably should have said that, but fuck it. Anyway, I think he's now living in Boston, and he's a cop or a firefighter or something. He was a bit of a young kid, probably 22. I'm at this point older. I'm the oldest guy on the staff there. Most of the kids are like young actors who just got to town looking for, a break. So Mike Marchand is kind of this handsome looking guy. One day, now this is when Britney Spears is fucking Britney Spears. She is, as not like not the one in the schoolgirl outfit, not that era, like yellow
like
snake,
I'm a slave for
yellow
you.
snake around her neck, MTV era. That
Abs
one.
Britney.
Right. That one. Also, a whole other cool side of Britney. Those songs were fun and cool, and
wasn't she like trying to be sexy or reinvent herself at the time?
I guess.
Kinda?
Well, yeah. So then she had this guy who used to hang around. I don't know if you remember. His name was Sam Lufty, and he was like, I don't know if he was a boyfriend or he was just like some shady character who was always around her, and he was kind of like making her deals and stuff at one point. Sam Lufty turned out to be a real shady character, I believe. So one day they come into Mirabelle. Britney Spears, they call ahead. Like, Britney Spears is coming into Mirabelle, so make room for her. And we're like, all right. We used to get those calls all the time, and it was usually just bullshit. So we're like, whatever. So sure enough, in comes walking Britney Spears with this Sam Lufty guy. Now, Sam Lufty is a gay man, I believe. I don't know if he was out gay at this time, but he certainly was. Maybe I just outed him now, but he's gay. So he becomes enamored with Mike Marchand, who's his waiter. So Mike Marchand is like going over the table and waiting on Britney Spears and Sam Lufty, and there's like a few other hangers-on around. And so, of course, when Britney Spears comes into a place like that, you kind of walk past and, you look at them like that's what we do when famous people come in. You just stare at them. So I walked past the table a few times, and I'm like, this girl is out of it. Like, she is not right in the head. I could see it. Like, there's nothing behind her eyes. She's just like staring at the ceiling and just making no connection to anyone at the table, not speaking to anyone. So sure enough, this Sam Lufty guy seems to have some sort of connection with this guy, my friend Mike, who's working there. And they finish their dinner and they leave. About 15 minutes later, we get a phone call again from this Sam Lufty guy. And he says, hey, can I speak to Mike? And I put Mike on the phone. We're busy, so I go like, hey, he's busy, but Mike is on the phone. And the Sam Lufty goes, Britney was really into you. Are you interested in dating Britney? So Mike Marchand's like, what? He's a fucking regular guy. I was like, all right. So then for the next like 5 days, they come into our restaurant, Mailbar restaurant, like every day. This Britney Spears has no idea who Mike Marchand is. It's not. She's making no connection to him whatsoever. Mike's like trying to talk to her. She's just not even. She's just not making. She's on whether she's on something or she's just not there. Like, you'd even see it in some of her performances, like when you watch like those her in Vegas videos. She's just like a trained like monkey, just like doing the
memory.
like doing the dance steps. I think, and it's probably just lip syncing. So she's making. But yet Sam Lufty seems to really be into Mike. So he's using Britney Spears to kind of get some sort of gay relationship going with my friend Mike, who's working at the place. Now, Mike is not a gay guy. I don't think he has any interest in that, but that's what's happening. So now the paparazzi has caught on to it that Britney Spears is coming to you can look all this up. It's all on the internet. She's coming to Mirabelle every day. So I'm not kidding. I never saw anything quite like it. They were, you always hear these things about they were hiding in the bushes. They were fucking hiding in the bushes. They were across the sunset. They were in trees. Hundreds of them, and they pull up in cars. As soon as they get in their car to drive away, they fucking hop in their cars and just chase them. Like, that's how the princes die, I guess, just crash because they just
trying to get away.
Craziness, man. And so then my buddy Mike was kind of caught up in it, but he was kind of loving it. And it was over as quickly as it began. One day they just stopped coming in, and that was the end of it. Like, Britney Spears had never even known Mike's name, but Sam Lufty kept calling, going, she's really into you. She's really into you. And Mike's like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. No, she loves you. And then, so he was just, so then one day I decided to talk to her because now she's been in for fucking 5 days. So I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I go, hey, you enjoying the restaurant? She just, yes. I said, how's the food? She goes, what? I said, and now I'm like, oh, why did I even bother? Like, but I'm already in it. So I said, how's the food? I could tell there's nothing there. She's like, oh, it's good. And then now I double down. I'm like, I'm fucking already in. I might as well just. I go, what'd you have? What I have? She has like these like to most people, this question makes sense. Like, what did you eat tonight? Not to her, because she didn't know what she ate. Sam Lufty fed it to her and ordered it for her, and she didn't even know what it was. So she's.
That's gotta be drugs. It has to be.
Right, it's something like that.
It almost has
to be. I don't want to say that because we'll get sued or some shit. So, but it is. You're right. But anyway, it's got to be something like that. So that's my Britney Spears story. So then when I saw her like walking out of this thing on Sunday, I was like, that's the Britney Spears I knew. That's the one I knew. That's the one I saw years ago with some shady character with her.
Was this before she shaved her head or after?
Yeah. I believe it was... Before. I believe it was before. Yeah. That was definitely before. Yeah. So we hadn't really known that crazy. So we didn't know. I was like telling people that she's insane. And people were like, no, she's amazing. I'm like, there's something wrong there. And then she did like an MTV performance. I don't even remember that. It was like a little, not the snake one. It was another one that she was a little off. And then,
was that when she got in trouble for like slipping up on her lip syncing?
Something like that. Yeah. And then there, of course, there was the shaving of the head and the umbrella on the window incident and all that. Anyway.
And then Kevin Federline. That was a whole segment of
I'll
garbage.
say this about Federline, though. Probably. Everyone shit on that guy. I think he was the fucking normal one in it. He was a white trash dude and everything, but
he was your buddy from the...
Yeah, like in the end, the kids, I don't know, now I'm saying this, but he raised the kids, I think. Somebody does. There's children involved. Isn't there 2 kids? They got to be 15 now.
They're
close
wards
to
of the state, so they're being raised in a Scientology.
I think he, no, they're not Scientology. Anyway, I think he raises them. Who knows? But I remember he was just like, he had a song called Popozal. Popozal. I mean, what was that guy? What was he even? Was he a dancer?
He was her backup dancer turned boyfriend. And I think at that point, once he had some name recognition, probably Sam Lufty's like, here's a script, sing it. Like, here's your song.
That's what happened. Anyway, that's kind of a crazy story. I remember the one part that was most painful to me about the entire incident was I used to have this hat that I loved that I used to wear out of work. I would leave Mirabelle and I'd head over to the bar next door called Red Rock where everybody would go on like Friday and Saturday. It was a fucking poppin' place. And I would put on my hat.
Got cash in the old pocket.
Oh, exactly, Alex. And then I'd walk on over to Red Rock. And one night, the paparazzi's so crazy out back, they're trying to get Britney Spears out of the restaurant. And there's like people around. And Britney Spears says, Sam Lufty says, can I get a hat for Britney to cover her face? And I go, yes, no problem. And I run and get my hat and I give it to her. And she walks out of the restaurant and I never saw that hat again. They whisked her into a car and took off. And actually, you could see it. You could Google pictures and they have this picture of paparazzi and that bitch is wearing my hat.
And the old Franjola hat.
Yeah, my Franjola hat. Anyway, so that's my Britney Spears story. And
that's the Red Rock hat.
I wanted to share that with you because people are saying that she's being held against her will. She's not being held against her will. Or maybe she is by that guy, but not by her parents or anything. She's just got some psychological problems and it's sad and, more power to Britney Spears. All right.
Is it possible that when you're such a, like she's a business and as a child, she was a business. Everyone around her was business.
Like Ariana Grande.
So at some point.
Seems relatively normal. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, at some point, if you're succeeding on the highest level, maybe it's just easier to be like, my mind thinks music, you order my,
thank you for bringing that up, Alex, because I wanted to talk about this. And there's a new, I just saw this movie on the plane flying to Boston. I don't know. It's called Free Solo. This shit is if you haven't seen this movie, I think it won the.
Oh, this is Alex Honnold, yeah?
The climber?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think it won documentary, Best Picture documentary at the Oscars. I think. I could be wrong. But it's unbelievable. It's the sickest shit I've ever seen. Now, but yeah, some people probably know what free soloing is. It's just climbing up mountains with nothing. Not mountains, like fucking, like just walls. Just not even like rock climbing, but like steep. And they got nothing. No ropes, no nothing. Nothing. Just them. There's fingers and feet and climbing. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. This one guy who's the best at it just climbed, he's the only person ever to climb that Yellowstone. What do they call it?
The El Capitan, 900-meter vertical rock face.
You can't.
It's vertical.
It's vertical. There's nothing to catch. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give the movie away, but it's fucking insane. but the kid's got problems. He's like on the spectrum. He's probably,
I'm sure.
Yeah. See, and they mentioned it. They talk about it throughout the movie. He's got something going on. He's not mentally all there. So his focus is this fucking climbing shit. I believe like a Britney Spears, this on the spectrum shit is kind of good.
Yeah.
Because you get focused on, like, you
become the best in the world at one thing.
You look like Bryce Harper, that baseball player who's like fucking amazing. Now he plays for the Phillies. He's playing for the Nationals for, his whole career. That guy, I see him in interviews and stuff. I'm like, this guy's not normal. He's like, something's wrong with him. He's got some fucking, because
what positions he play?
Well, he's an outfielder, but he's like 24 and he's, breaking every record in baseball at this point. He's unbelievable. But he's on, I bet if you looked at his mom, whoever does this psychological shit, this kid's on the spectrum too.
Yeah.
And I've seen that in a lot of like people who are the best at what they do. There's something wrong with them because they're strictly focused on that one thing.
And that's almost the better the other side of that is Michael Jordan. You're such a psychopath and you're so selfish you only care about your pursuit. So
right.
I would rather it be a guy who's on the spectrum who's like, I just think pitching.
That's why I am doing a podcast in a closet in Koreatown because
this is what you do.
I have no focus. I focus on everything. I will start one thing and then I'll see another thing on the floor. I'll start building a cabinet in my house. Then I'll leave the cabinet and I'll go read half a book. Then I'll go take an album out, play an album, and I'll dance in my room. This is the shit I do. Like I have no focus. If you told me to climb the fucking wall, I'd be like, I can't. I gotta go fucking build a cabinet. I got no focus at all.
You build cabinets?
I don't build it from nothing. Thank you. Yes. I'm like Jesus Christ, building cabinets out of fucking wood. I'm taking IKEA.
Is that oak?
I'm putting in a dowel and then just putting it together. Anyway, so I'm bringing this up for another reason because, and it goes back to the news. There's this guy, I don't know if you've seen on Jeopardy. He has now won. I believe he's in his second week in a row of winning Jeopardy. If you look up his name, Alex, this guy, it's crazy.
He's no Ken.
No, he is.
He's the
Ken
next.
Jennings. He's the next Ken Jennings.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, he is. But last night I watched him. He won again. I mean, he's not only winning. It's not even close. Like when you get to Final Jeopardy, it gets to the point where he's so far ahead that you might as well not even play Final Jeopardy because the other two people can't even catch up. So
James Holzhauer.
Yeah, and so he has a system that he uses to win. I forget what he calls it. He calls it the something system. But he's got something wrong with his mind because he is a gambler. That's his job. He's a Vegas gambler. He's a professional gambler in Vegas, and he knows how to
play the odds.
How to play the odds. And so he plays the game Jeopardy in an interesting way. He goes high right away. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, because then I have the money to bet when I get double, Jeopardy. But he also answers every question right.
Yeah,
so, I mean, it's pretty easy to do that when you're answering every question correctly. But this guy's he's another one. Got something wrong. He's focused on, like, he probably doesn't have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, these guys, they can't talk to women. They can't, like, you have to see this
Ken Jennings had a wife, didn't he?
Well, Ken Jennings is a little more normal, I think.
Yeah. And a good Mormon man.
Yeah, he's just a smart guy. Yeah. He didn't strike me as, this guy's got something else going on. Yeah. You have to watch it. First of all, I fucking love Jeopardy. It's the best show on TV. I feel so bad that Alex Trebek is sick right now, and I hope, I know a lot of people don't come back.
Is he not on?
No, well, he is on. He just announced that he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, which is, stage 4 pancreatic cancer there's no coming back from that.
That's almost finito.
Yeah, but he says he's going to come back and he's going to fight it and whatever. But I mean, I don't know if I could live in a world without Alex Trebek hosting Jeopardy. I know it's
like Vanna White for the wheel. What's the point?
I'll say that. I hate Wheel of Fortune. I hate when
not a Pat Sajak fan, but Vanna.
No, here's the thing. Well, I hate when it ends, when Jeopardy ends and Wheel of Fortune begins, because it just feels like such a dumbing down of America. Like, all the smart people watch Jeopardy, and then all of a sudden it's like, dude, like the dopes of
the people who didn't even watch the news turn the TV on.
Like, no, not even. Yeah, the people who are watching it.
Jeopardy was after the news, right?
It's after. Yeah,
like,
not necessarily. It would be. It would. Yes, true. It would be after the 6:30 national news on ABC here in Los Angeles. So. Then starts Wheel of Fortune, which is like, oh, Jesus. And just the people on it are dumb, you know. And it is a skill, too, I guess. I'm not good at it. They can give me every letter. I'm like, I have no idea what that is, you know. My brain doesn't work in that way. And, you know, but I'll say this. Sajak's a good host. He's a solid host. He's got the best job in the business. He does like that in 2 months. He's done with the entire year, and he makes $35 million. And then same with Vanna. Vanna White. God bless her. She's funny. They'd have a little rapport in the beginning. They do a little rapport at the end, and then she turns the letters. And people always like, all she does is turn letters. Yeah, that's all she does. Makes $12 million a year. Works 2 months a year. She's laughing all the way to fucking bank. Yeah. I remember they tried to make her a movie. They tried to get her out of there and put her in some movies back in maybe it was the early 90s. She was like an angel on some USA or some Hallmark movie. She was an angel coming down to help people with something. They're like, oh my God, just go back to turning letters. She can't. She has no talent whatsoever. So anyway, and then she said, "Fuck it. Here, this is what I do." And to anyone who gets any type of success in show business, hold on tight. This shit doesn't come around very often. Like if you're Vanna White, just fucking keep turning those letters for the next 35 years.
Who's the rapper that's been on SVU for all of eternity?
Ice-T.
Ice-T. Yeah, you got to Ice-T it into.
Ice-T is the smartest guy in show business. He's like, you think I'm going to leave this fucking show? No. Absolutely.
He's more known for fighting pedophilia than making music at this point.
He is fucking the king of that show. He probably phones that shit in, gets the script, comes in, does it out the door. So that more power to all those people who just hold on tight. So you got to watch this guy in Jeopardy. That's the thing. Let's get back to some news stories that are all over the papers. Kate Smith. For those of you who don't know who Kate Smith is, maybe some of you don't know because you're young people. But Kate Smith was a singer. She has a very popular version of God Bless America. Maybe you hear it after 9/11, it became all the rage. Her version of God Bless America. It was played at all the the baseball stadium, football, everywhere. Kate Smith's God Bless America. If you've ever heard the term, the game's not over till the fat lady sings, that's what a lot of people say about football and baseball games. They are talking about Kate Smith. Kate Smith is the fat lady. No, they really are. Kate Smith is the fat lady they are talking about when she sings. That game is over. Okay. Here's the problem with Kate Smith that has come out in the last week. Kate Smith was a singer in the 30s and 40s, kind of a heavy woman, heavy by the 30s and 40s standards. If you look at her today, you're like, oh, she's every gal walking in the airport in St. Louis. You know what I mean? Like, it's I remember seeing Bad News Bears in the 70s when I was a kid, and there was a character in Bad News Bears called Ogilvy. He was supposed to be like this enormously fat kid who was just so fat that he couldn't even like run the bases, and he just ate candy bars the entire movie. And we all laughed at it because back then you could use fat as a punchline. You can't do that anymore. But and then you watch Bad News Bears now, the Walter Matthau, Tatum O'Neal version, and this Ogilvy kid is probably 140 pounds. Like he's not really fat at all by today's standards. Anyway, same thing with Kate Smith. So here's the Kate Smith controversy. Kate Smith, who they've been playing her songs at the Philadelphia Flyers games, the hockey team, and apparently they credit Kate Smith in Philadelphia with like saving one of their series years ago. They played her song and they came back from like a 3-0 deficit. So she's like a god in Philadelphia. She's dead for many years now, but they play God Bless America now because they're like, it gives us good luck. And they have a statue out front of their stadium as well of Kate Smith. As do the Yankees. The New York Yankees outside of Yankee Stadium have a statue of Kate Smith, I believe, and they play Kate Smith's God Bless America in every game, I think 7th inning or whenever they play it. Okay, so somebody has recently uncovered some songs that Kate Smith sang in the 30s that are very, very, very racist.
How did I know that's where it was going? I knew.
Well, it's about to get even better, Alex. Because so now, about a month ago, the Yankees said they're going to stop playing "God Bless America," the Kate Smith version, because of this. the songs they found. Then now the Philadelphia Flyers have also said we are going to now stop playing this version of it, and we're going to cover up the statue. We're covering up. They didn't say they were taking the statue down. Weirdly enough, I read the article today. They said they're covering up the statue, whatever that means. I don't know, with a sheet or a blanket or whatever. Okay, so now Kate Smith did a movie in the 30s, and the name of the movie was called Hello Everybody in 1933, and in that movie was a song called Pickaninny Heaven. Already I think it's going to be bad. In that song she tells colored children who are living in an orphanage, she says, kids, there's little black kids in an orphanage, she says in the song, she says, kids, dream of a magical place with great big watermelons. That's she's singing to the children.
Aspire for more is what she's saying, guys.
She's singing to the children.
Listen to the message.
In the orphanage, like, hey, children, dream of a place with big, great watermelons, and you'll get out of this orphanage. I don't know if that's how the song goes.
They're starving. She's the fat lady.
Okay, so then now there's another song. So that's the first one they uncovered. This is in a movie. Now, I'm not sticking up for Kate Smith, but she's an actress in a movie, so maybe that's the script. Sometimes you get the script, you're like, I'm playing a character. Okay. There's another song came out in 1931. That's called "That's Why Darkies Were Born." That's another Kate Smith song. This is the one that really has started really heated up the controversy. In that song, she says something along the lines of, somebody had to pick the cotton, somebody had to pick the corn. That's why darkies were born.
Whoa.
Exactly. So, once again, this was for some Broadway review or something I had read. So, once again, in Kate Smith's defense, if there is one, it's a script. And I'm different time. I know we can't say that like everything, but there is such a thing as a different time. Like these are terrible. Like most people should have looked at it and go, no, I'm not singing this. Like I'm not the most politically correct person in the world, but I don't know if anyone ever gave me like a thing. It goes, here's a song called "That's Why Darkies Were Born." I don't know. I'm not gonna do that. I don't think. So anyway, that's the Kate Smith controversy. But now I know we had this a couple of years ago with the statues. A lot of the statues needed to come down. What do we do? No more statues. Because let's face it, don't we all have something horrible in our past? Let's hope we've all lived a colorful enough life where we've done some stupid shit.
There's not a statue around without
none. Zero.
A terrible story behind it.
There's not.
How did you conquest the whole? It's like it's always a person who ruled.
Right, of course. Oh, yeah, or won some sort of battle or something. Some of the older cities you go to, the Bostons and New Yorks, even down south, they have all these Civil War people who are, and so they got to pull this shit down, take this shit down. So no more statues. And honestly, they don't look good anyway. None of them. We all saw the one. Remember they made the "I Love Lucy" statue a couple of years ago? They put it up in her hometown, Lucy's hometown. It looked like a fucking freak. It's whoever made the statue. I don't know who makes statues, like sculptors or whatever. It just looked like a freak. And then there was a couple of years ago that soccer player, the famous soccer player, real handsome guy. They made one of him, really terrible looking statue.
Oh, was it Ronaldo?
Yeah, Ronaldo. Yeah. Like his statue was awful looking. Eyes were real close together. Everyone looks like all the statues always look a little off, like the celebrity brother or sister. Remember Don Swayze, Patrick Swayze, handsome guy. Patrick Swayze was Ghost and Dirty Dancing. Patrick Swayze had a brother, Don Swayze. He was in some movies in the 80s and 90s. He was on a lot of Law and Orders and stuff.
Ooh.
He looked like Swayze, just a little off. Somebody fucked with his chromosomes a little bit, and he wasn't Swayze, but he was close to Swayze.
You could tell they were related, but you also knew who the pretty one was.
Tom Hanks had one, Jim Hanks. Tom Hanks had a brother, Jim Hanks. He was actually worked at the Improv for a little while. He really did. He worked at Melrose Improv. Jim Hanks. You were like, oh my God, you look a little like Tom Hanks, but not exactly.
Like, oh, you look like that talented guy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on. I mean, the Baldwins, you can almost say it about the Baldwins, although all the Baldwins are kind of good looking guys, but you could they're not all Alec, you know what I mean?
I'd like to tell you a story about, or just
hold on, one more
picture, a Kate Smith picture.
Oh, you got it.
It's about Kate Smith, yeah. So I looked her up just to see how fat the fat lady was.
Right.
robust gal.
Yeah, robust, but certainly not. Yeah, she's not the girl from.
There's a
This
picture,
Is Us.
There's a picture of her signing a warhead, like a missile.
Oh, for Hitler.
Yeah, it says to Hitler from Kate.
Yeah. Well,
what a great place to pick up the moral high ground there, Kate. You were.
Well, that was back in the days where they used to show these in between movies. They would show news. That's where you'd get your news before television. You'd get your news from, on these movie tones or whatever, and they used to have famous people signing this one goes out to Hitler. Go from Kate Smith. Go ahead, Kate Smith. Go, way to go. Goodbye, Hitler. And
that's just so funny that it was someone's got to pick the cotton, and then it was, well, let's save all the let's kill the
someone's got to pick the cotton, someone's got to pick the corn,
and someone's got to drop the warhead.
Well, so that's the enough with the statue, enough with the honestly, not only statues, enough with the murals as well. We have a lot of them in Los Angeles. Another thing that looks terrible, they never look like the people. They paint them on the side of buildings, and it never looks good. So stop, everybody. It's hard to get the look of a person's face, and they're going to do something shitty, so you're going to have to paint over that terrible, mural or statue because that person said something shitty or tweeted something shitty. It's enough. We're having another big problem we're having here. Okay, we're at 40. Oh, we're flying along. Wow, I feel good about this one. So let's give you a couple more stories, and then we'll get out of here. There's a big problem right now with people flushing. We're flushing things down the toilet. And I read about this guy yesterday whose job it is in New York to get rid of these Fatbergs in the sewers of New York. Not only New York. New York has a decent sewer system, but some of the older sewer systems in Europe, like in London and stuff, these sewer systems in Europe are hundreds of years old. Hundreds. The same one. They're using the same sewer system for 500 years. And they're all getting clogged up by fat. They're calling them Fatbergs. Then it's like fat from restaurants. So everyone just dumps their fat, hardens. Now only now it's a lot of, and they say the worst thing that's fucking all these sewers up, New York included, is people using those wipes, those ass. Now everyone's using baby wipes on their ass.
Bring their own.
Right. Everyone's using baby wipes used to be for babies. Now baby wipes are for everybody. Every single person. You can't wipe with just regular toilet paper anymore like people used to. You have to wipe. And this goes, I blame millennials. I blame people, everybody. In the constant pursuit of a clean asshole, we are fucking up because this came out on Earth Day yesterday. Yesterday was Earth Day or whatever. So you were hearing a lot of these stories about things that are wrong with the environment. One of them being these things. We all want a clean asshole, so we're fucking up the sewer systems and the environment. I'm as guilty as anyone else. I love a clean asshole, but we all started eating each other's assholes.
There it goes.
No, we did. And
it's bad for society.
I don't know if it was the millennials. I don't know who started. I don't know where I think maybe it was the rap community, chatting about it. But everyone, back that shit up on my face, whatever. So people started eating.
Nicki Minaj was a perpetrator.
Well, she had a big ass, so maybe people wanted to eat it. People want to eat a big one or small. I don't know what people want to eat, but everyone wants to eat each other's assholes. And so because of that, you have to keep it clean. Because of that, you need a wipe. Now, because we all started eating each other's assholes, the sewers are packed. So I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to get larger sewers. We should make larger sewers, or we need to stop. We need to just go back to eating what we would normally eat, like the tits and the dicks and whatever, and stop eating each other's assholes.
Totally thought that was going for vegetables, and then...
No. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to turn that around, so to speak. That's because once you start, eating the asshole, you probably don't want to stop. And I don't know. It's another conundrum we're having right now in America. It's a big story. Look it up. If you want to see the grossest thing you've ever seen in your life, Google Fatbergs.
These things what's funny is
hard to look. It looks like they look like Kate Smith. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fat clogging the arteries, is what it is.
Right, more or less, exactly. Except that the arteries being the streets of London and New York. All right, another thing that has become, as I think Washington State is about to be the first state to pass.
Okay.
Human composting, everyone. Human composting. That is exactly what it sounds like. When your body dies, when you're dead. Because this is another thing that came up on Earth Day, because I don't know if you know, but all these fucking people in the ground are fucking up the ground. Like there's a lot of, and they're running out of room. Like we got to start doing what they do in the South. I was driving through the South last summer doing some shows, and I was driving through some pretty rural parts of the South. They just bury people on their fucking front lawn.
Yeah.
Like I'm not kidding. Like
probably
people,
with no box.
You see like a couple of like flowers, not even, and they don't even use like real flowers. They use plastic flowers from the 99-cent store. So they stay there. They just get dusty and dirty and sun, bleached, and they sit on the so. And they're just buried in the front lawn, right on the front lawn side of the house. Just bury them. Just go, Grandpa's gone. Oh, okay. Go get the shovel. Put them in the lawn next to Grandma.
Well, those are the kind of people that solve their own problems. They don't have to spend $10,000 on a funeral home.
Yeah. Maybe it's not a bad idea. So that's become a big problem.
That's in Washington?
In Washington State.
Time to buy.
It's going to pass.
And don't they have doctor-assisted suicides there too, or is that Oregon?
I don't know if that's still...
Pacific Northwest is revolutionizing the death business as we speak.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. So back to Washington set to allow human composting. This is the article in today's paper. The bill will legalize, sometimes referred to as human composting, as past legislature is headed to the desk. If signed, the new law would be enacted on May 1st, 2020, and you will be able to compost your dead friends and lovers and family members. And then you could take the dirt. It makes a lot of dirt. Here you go. A natural organic reduction process yields a cubic yard of soil per body, enough to fill about 2 large wheelbarrows. That's a lot. And then with that dirt, grandpa dirt, daddy dirt, whoever died's dirt, you could,
dirt.
You could bury, you could plant a tree, and
you could feed your family with the remains. So
now you plant the tree in the dead grandpa dirt, and then everybody comes over on whatever Easter. If we're going to stay with what we're in Easter, or you say, hey, everybody, we're going to have some apples from Grandpa's
some Granny
dirt.
Smiths,
Grandpa's dirt apples. How do you like your little Grandpa dirt apples, children? Everyone like Grandpa dirt?
You know what's funny is I've been saying...
but it seems like kind of...
it makes sense.
Makes sense.
If you go to any grocery store, any affordable grocery store in this country, all of your fruits and vegetables are devoid of nutrition, and that's because for the longest time, what the crows didn't eat, the earth got.
Right.
So...
Okay, so I
think it's a good thing.
All right, well... It's happening. At least if this guy passes it, relatives can keep the soil in urns, use it to plant trees on private property, or spread it on public land in the state, as long as they comply with the existing permissions regarding. Is astonishing that you have to completely universal. Okay, so there you go.
I dig it.
Composting. I don't. I'll tell you a funny story about something that happened to me years ago. I'm a child. Living in Ronkonkoma, New York. I know I've mentioned that town many times. My people, Ronkonkoma, New York. Somehow, I don't really know the details of it. My mother wound up getting the ashes of her mother, my grandmother, who lived in Denver. My mother's born and raised in Denver. Her grandmother lived in Denver.
City.
Yeah, and I'd never met her. I didn't meet her a lot. She stayed in Denver. She's long since dead, but we probably met 2-3 times in my life. So I wasn't really that close with my mother's side of the family. But I guess she was, her and her husband were divorced. She lived by herself in like one of those, senior living facilities. And she had another friend who was also alone and had no family and whatever. And the woman had died, and she was cremated. So my grandmother, my mother's mother, while my mother was visiting her in Denver, gave her this woman's ashes and said, I'm no longer mobile and I can't do much. Can you do something with, Betty's ashes, please? I guess that was her name. So my mother's like, all right, I'll take the ashes. So my mother takes the ashes in her suitcase and flies back to Long Island, New York, Ronkonkoma, and she's got these ashes. And now let me just tell you, it wasn't like an urn or anything nice. It was in a Maxwell.
Like a baggie.
It was in a coffee can, like a Maxwell House coffee can. And we have the ashes. And my mother says, hey, everyone, these are Betty's ashes. We go, first of all, gross. Get those fucking things out of here. We said, who's Betty? Betty is a friend of Grandma's from Denver. Not even that good a friend, just somebody that they met like a month ago.
Acquaintance.
But now we, so my mother's like, I know we are going to show some respect to Betty, and we are going to get rid of her ashes. Everybody. So this Saturday coming up, me and my brothers and my mom, we're all going to have a memorial for Betty. No, none of us know Betty. We never met Betty. My grandmother didn't even know Betty. But now we got her ashes in a coffee can, and we're going to get rid of these fucking things. So we don't know where. Like in Ronkonkoma, not a lot of places, picturesque, gorgeous places to go, dispose of ashes. You're like, oh, let's go throw them in the valley, over the mountains. But we don't have them. Go throw them next to the 7-Eleven down on Portion Road, or over by the Country Valley Farm.
Next to all the other people's ashes.
Yeah,
behind the 7-Eleven.
There's no like this. Oh, they got the Pizza Hut up the street. We can go put them in the dumpster back there. No, let's try and do something nice. So we grew up on a lake. Now, when I say we grew up on a lake, it makes it sound like, oh, what a gorgeous life that must have been. Yeah, it was Lake Ronkonkoma. We were very close to it. We were like 4 houses away from Lake Ronkonkoma. That was my whole life, was growing up on Lake Ronkonkoma. It's still there. Lake Ronkonkoma is still there. Anyway, so my mother says we're going down to put the ashes in Lake Ronkonkoma. So all right, here we go. So we all walk down, and we're standing on the shoreline of Lake Ronkonkoma, and now it's a lake. So it's windy. It's windy. We picked a day, pretty windy. It was bad for poor Betty because it was a windy one. So my mother opens the can, and we go to dump the ashes into the water. But the wind blows, and the ashes, half of them go into the air, just blowing around Ronkonkoma. The other half just fall onto the dirt, and the water is not coming up enough to pull them in to the lake. So it did just a
gross pile.
Just a pile of ashes, Betty on the floor. So I go over because I have respect for the dead. I go over and just kind of kick them slowly into the water. And then my mother goes, "All right, rest in peace, Betty." And we all get back in the station wagon and we go roller skating. So that is why you should compost your family members.
Because poor Betty, born and raised in the Great Rocky Mountains, got her body spread in a lake in a place she's never been.
Her fucking ashes are blowing around Ronkonkoma right now. Nobody gives a fuck. Her ashes probably landed on some grocery store in Ronkonkoma. But she could have been composted, and somebody could be eating a Betty pear right now in Denver. But they're not, because they didn't compost her. So anyway, that's cover to cover for this week. I think that was a really fun. Oh, we got it. Of course, that's what we're going to get to right now. We're not finished yet, everyone, because we are starting up our favorite portion of the show. For some reason, as I say in every episode, we've just decided to end it this way. I came up with a good one this time.
Yours first?
No, not mine first. Let's do yours first, as we always do. And I want to get up Oh, you're going to do Lil Uzi Vert.
I got some Lil Uzi Vert for you good people.
This kid's name is Lil Uzi Vert, Uzivert.
Uzi, like the firearm.
Like the firearm, Lil Uzi Vert. He's an American rapper. His song is probably, it's not number 1, but it's pretty close. It's in the top 10. It's on the charts.
It's, I think 4 or 5. We've already gone through 1 through 4, so I think it's 5.
Yeah.
But this song,
let's hear it. Now give it to us good, and let's just give it a few minutes or seconds or whatever.
This is the great song by Lil Uzi Vert, Sanguine Paradise.
Boom. Oh. What is it? What kind of paradise?
Sanguine.
What is a sanguine?
Ooh, I don't know. It sounds like a type of bird.
It does sound like.
I can't lose. Foreign girls in they tents. I can't choose. Foreign car got the 10. I can't cruise. Got different color on my diamonds.
Okay.
I can't even see the time. I don't want to see her face. I'ma go and get behind. Drop the top on the rib.
Let me hear it a little more. Let me hear a little more Lil Uzi Vert. Okay. What's the name? What is the name of the song again?
So I'm looking up what it means. Sanguine, optimistic or positive, especially in an apparently bad or difficult situation.
So I was a sanguine when we kicked the ashes into the Lake Ronkonkoma. I was a sanguine. I didn't know.
You were creating a sanguine paradise.
I was a sanguine paradise when I kicked Betty into the lake. I created a better environment. Okay, this is, this sounds like, like I say about all these, it sounds like every song, but that's fine.
Catchy.
Like I said, I'm going to Vegas in a couple of weeks, and I'm going to sit by a pool, and I'm going to listen to Lil Uzi Vert. So, yeah, I'm into that. That's cool.
All right.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
We got a good one for you.
We got a good one. Now, don't play it yet because just to get these fuckers to come to my shows, I'm going to promote my shows in between songs, so you'll stay tuned. Everybody, I'm in La Jolla Comedy Store. I love it down there. If you live in that area, you rich bastards, I love you. Come to La Jolla Comedy Store May 31st, June 1st, and June 2nd, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Then I'm off back to New York, everybody. I'm at Brokerage Comedy Club on Long Island. It's like a governor's chain brokerage in Belmore, Long Island. One night only, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, $20. That's it. I need 140 people from my hometown of Long Island to come to this show. Otherwise, I'll never return to perform on Long Island. Then I head to the Mohegan Sun right after that at Comics Mohegan Sun. That's on Thursday the 6th, 7th, and 8th of June. And then on and on and on. I'll come up with those dates as we go further. But Brokerage Comedy Club and La Jolla Comedy Store, fucking go. All right. This one I looked up because I vaguely remembered it in the 70s. And I'm like, that was a strange song, especially by today's standards. It's a song by Mr. Paul Anka. I don't know if you remember Paul Anka. I believe Paul Anka is still with us. And it is called Having My Baby. You're Having My Baby by Paul Anka. Let's hear it, Alex. Give it to us.
What a lovely way of saying what you're thinking of me.
The big hit song. This was number 1, 1974, I believe.
Glowing. I can see it in your eyes. I'm happy knowing that you're having my baby. You're the woman I love, and I love what it's doing to you.
He loves what it's doing to your body. This is just, yeah. I love what's going through you right now. He's got like a sick fetish about pregnant women or something. So now, okay, let's stop it for a second. I'm gonna stop it for a second. And okay, so this song, I guess, was basically Paul Anka saying, "Hey, I love you for having my baby. Thank you for doing this. I love you, and I like what you're going through. I like the changes your body is going through. I need inside you. I see it showing. Oh, I see the seed inside you, baby. Do you feel it growing? Are you happy in knowing that you're having my baby?" So this is almost like a creepy guy going, "Hey, man, thanks for just doing what a woman's supposed to do, having my baby, all right?" That's what a woman, this is like in the 70s, when women weren't as powerful as they are today. You could say things like, "Thanks for doing this, babe. Thanks for taking that seed. And I like what you look like. I know some people don't like it, but I like it." So then they must have decided, hey, this song is so like chauvinistic. Let's make it a duet. So now I believe, here, go ahead. Now a woman will pop in.
And this is the great Odia Cortez.
Yes, thank you. Nice job, Alex. Let's hear a little more of it. And this is, once again, we're dancing to this. We're having a good time in the 70s where, we're drinking a cold duck on a back patio in Ronkonkoma. My mom and dad are back there. They poured themselves a cold duck and they're sitting on the back patio. June, a lot of mosquitoes. We couldn't afford the bug zapper, but our neighbors, the Lazuls, had a bug zapper. We could hear those things frying all night long. We just got a citronella candle. Never worked, but smelled nice. We sat next to the citronella candle and we listened to Paul Anka. Give it to me, Alex.
Did he just say, "Do you have to keep it"? Is that what he said?
Oh, God, I hope not. Hold on. Turn it loud. He actually did say that. Yes, I'll read it to you. "I'm a woman in love, and I love what it's doing to me."
That's her verse.
This is her version. She said, "Having my baby, I'm a woman in love, and I love what's going through me." Then Anka comes back and he says, "Didn't have to keep it. Wouldn't put you through it. You could have swept it from your life, but you wouldn't do it. No, you wouldn't do it, and you're having my baby. I'm a woman in love, and I love." That's amazing. Thank you for picking up on that, Alex. Yeah, he said you could have aborted it.
You could have got rid of it.
Yeah, but you didn't. And I love you for that. Thank you.
Thanks for
sweetheart.
doing me a favor and keeping that baby.
Well, I didn't realize how amazing that song was until we actually got into it. So that's Paul Anka's Having My Baby, 1973, rocking it up the charts, everyone. So if you like songs about abortion and chauvinistic weirdos who think you look good with that seed inside you, give Paul Anka's Having a Baby a shot. All right, everyone, that's cover to cover for this week. We will go 2 times a week if you people start selling out shows. Boston, you got close. We came close in Boston. Everyone was great. We had so much fun. Start coming to the fucking shows, people. Tickets are cheap. I hug everybody. I kiss everybody. I'm like Richard Dawson on Family Feud. I'll kiss you right on the fucking lips after the show for nothing. It's free, okay? So come on down, everybody, to Governor's, to Brokerage, to La Jolla Comedy Store, to the comics in Mohegan Sun. These are the places I'm coming, and I'm loving it, and we're having a good time doing cover to cover. We're in the top 50 on iTunes, top 50 podcasts on iTunes. Thank you, Alex, for being a part of the success of this podcast. Can you imagine? We are top 50 people. Do you know how many podcasts there are in this fucking world? We are top 50 in comedy podcasts.
We're at 20 episodes in.
We're up there with Amy Schumer, Andrew Santino, the big guns.
The great Earl Skakel.
No.
The inappropriate Earl Skakel.
Everybody. So we're up there, and we appreciate you people doing it, because you know what? It's a weird world out there. As we said earlier in the podcast, it's a shitty, shitty place. And instead of like having to watch that terrible stuff that's happening to these people in Sri Lanka and all over the world, and people getting caught up in fat blogs and Kate Smith songs, listen to Cover to Cover. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.